Hello, my Bill for Thousand Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another That Chapter. This one is titled... I don't know what this one is titled. Hold on. The Sting. The Harrowing Daniel Morecambe case. Morcombe case. I'm horrible with names. We know this. I ain't trying to act like I know. Alright. This was actually suggested to me by a subscriber, and I am really excited because you guys never fail. Never fail. Always excited. Alright, I'm ready to get into today's story. If you guys are as ready as I am, go ahead. Turn them lights down low. Put on something comfy, cup with something special. Let's get traumatized. I have a feeling we're going to get traumatized. Anytime y'all request one from Mike, it's traumatizing. I'm fine with it, though. I'm fine with it. It's okay. It's all good. Let's get into it.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, what I'm talking today is Australia. Right, you know, I cover kind of an odd number of cases from there, and usually when I do, they're as scary as the wildlife. Kangaroos are no joke. This is a story which I've had a good number of requests for good reason, and those who don't know why soon will. It takes us to Queensland, the Sunshine Coast, though isn't that pretty much the entire continent? Well, this case, it ain't sunshiny. It, revolves around a disappearance, and then many years later, the absolutely insane, undercover operation to get resolution.
What do you need to tell? Is there something you need to tell me, or? And bearing in mind that this whole, what we do is based on respect and honesty, all right? I'll let you know that I don't care what you've done, all right? I've got no qualms at all. What they get up to doesn't faze me at all. All I'm looking for is loyalty, respect, and honesty. And I'll pay you back as you pay me back.
Also, I should probably say this every once in a while, though I think almost all of you know it. New video every Tuesday and almost every Friday. So subscribe if you want to see that. But hey, who am I to tell you what to do? So in my old videos, you know, I talk about a lot of...
With me, I new reaction video 7 days a week. Unless something happens. I've not been able to get to my comments as well as I used to be able to. Like, they're just not popping up. And then they do like a day later. And that aggravates me. But 7 days a week. I got over 600 videos.
You know, bad boys like myself, Pop's collar, and this one takes the cake. And by cake, I just mean the entire bakery. So let's give it a go.
Oh shit. Let's give it a go.
If you were to fly, you know, into this part of Australia, right, you might fly into Brisbane Airport. And to get to where we need to go, it'll take you about an hour and a half north. Sunny and coast, full of resorts, beautiful nature, beaches, rainforests. And if that didn't get your clock ticking, it's Australia's craft beer capital.
Really?
Right. Looks pretty good. Better than a kick up the arse. It ranks low in all crime, but ranks high in being frickin' rad. The only problem you'd have living there is everyone else wants to visit, so it gets pretty busy in summer. But other than that, the fine folk, you know, they live a laid-back life of beers, barbecue, and bikinis, if you can believe that. And that is where Daniel Morecambe and his family lived. Daniel was born in December 1989 to parents Bruce and Denise. He had two brothers, Dean the older, Brad, actually Daniel's twin in fact. The Morecambes began living in the Sunshine Coast area, settling in Palm Woods, in the bucolic hinterland, on a small rural property in the Bushmite. He attended the nearby Catholic school in Sippy Downs along with his brethren, and growing up what he was mad about was motocross and his pets, especially a pony. To make a little skadoosh on the side, Daniel and his brothers would pick passion fruit on a neighbour's farm. That was the Paxton family, and 13-year-old Daniel, in early December 2003, was thought of as a normal kid. The quiet and reserved kind, you know, but a nice guy. He didn't cause trouble and got on with everyone, and was a much loved member of the Morcombes.
Man, this is gonna get awful, ain't it?
And that really takes us to Sunday, the 7th of December 2003. December, middle of the summer in Australia, a damn hot time of the year on the Sunshine Coast, wet too.
Anyone else have a feeling this is gonna get real shit, like real fast, and like, yeah.
Tends to rain in Queensland in December, 2/3 of the month. On the 7th of December, the summer holidays were fast approaching. Daniel himself, he would actually be turning 14 in 2 weeks' time. But that morning, that Sunday morning, Daniel and his brothers were picking away the passion on the Paxtons. They lived not too far away and were due to start picking at 6:30 a.m., but the rain kept them till 7:30. This actually had the knock-on effect of their parents, Bruce and Denise, not being around. See, Bruce and Denise were going into a work Christmas do in Brisbane, and the kids were supposed to join them, but because they started later, on picking away on the farm later, they couldn't. Anywho, the lads picked away. Dean, the older, he finished up before his younger twin brothers, and Daniel and Brad arrived home at 9:45 a.m. Paid the kingly sum of 90 of your Australian dollary dues. So the boys were home alone. I mean, the youngest, Daniel and Brad, they were 13 years old, so they'd be fine.
Yeah.
So fine. In fact, that Daniel, he wanted to buy, Christmas was fast approaching. So at 1 p.m., Daniel left his house to get a bus to the nearby shopping mall to get some Christmas presents. He walked to the Nambour Connection Road. See, there was an overpass on that road, and underneath was where Daniel got the bus from time to time. It wasn't an official bus stop, but the drivers, they stopped, not a bother. Except this day. Daniel's parents, they arrived back home, to their house in Palm Woods from Brisbane at about 4 p.m. and,
I told you, it's gonna get fucked. Fast.
Well, Daniel, he wasn't home yet, so they drove to the bus stop, and hey, it's over a mile walk, right? So they'll pick him up at the bus stop. Only when the bus pulled up, he wasn't on it. So Bruce, Daniel's dad, he went back home, and he's like, okay, maybe he got the next bus, right, which would come an hour later at 5:30. He went again at 5:30. Daniel wasn't on that bus either, and that was the last bus. He drove then to the shopping centre. Nope. The next stop was to Maroochydore, I'm sure I butchered that, police station, right beside the mall at 7:30 p.m. Bruce and Denise, they went to the police and were like, yeah, our son went to the shopping mall and now he's disappeared. He hasn't come home. The police took the usual little details, description, right? Maybe he or UNNOFT'd. How was he? What was his mental state? Nothing. He got on great with the family. In fact, he had left to buy Christmas presents. He wouldn't have run away, and he would have called if he was running late. That sort of scale.
Yeah.
And so, the police. Well, they were. Well, hey, let's be grand, right? He's probably just off with his mates. He'll show up. Yeah, he's running late, lost track of time. He'll turn up, it's fine. Don't be stressing, he'll turn up. No, he won't, because Bruce and Denise had already called all of Daniel's friends and he wasn't with them. So it was at this point that Bruce and Denise were kind of, you're not really taking this that seriously. Come on. But,
right.
There was...
I mean, I get it. I understand where the police is coming from. Kids do some stupid shit, and, we was all kids one time. How much stupid shit, you're willingly to discuss in front of people did you do? I did a lot. I did a lot of stupid shit. I forgot what I was saying. I started thinking about all the stupid shit I do. Damn. But I get where police are coming from. Kids do some stupid shit sometimes, but do they think parents are just completely ignorant too? Like, I'm already gonna call his friends. Motherfucker, I done been to each and every single friend he got house. Most parents cover their P's and Q's before jumping straight to, oh yeah, let's call the police. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it's like kids do stupid. Like he could be running late. He normally calls, maybe phone's dead, whatever the case may be. But all at the same time, I know what it's like to be a parent and you start freaking out, and there's nothing that's going to stop you.
We'd F all to do until the following morning when the police station opened at 8 a.m. and then they could, make an official missing persons report. And then that's when, the lines of inquiry, as they say, opened. A sergeant was quickly able to determine that Daniel had in fact been seen at that bus stop, waiting for the bus to go to the shopping mall, under the bridge at around 2 p.m. He had been standing there, and there had been an older man with him. Parts of this story will make your stomach turn like you just drank a glass of spoiled milk, but how it started was really through a series of unlucky and unfortunate events. Daniel left his house at 1 p.m. The bus stop was about a mile away, so he was planning on getting the 1:30 p.m. bus, right? Daniel was standing there alone, right, but not for long. The regular bus had broken down, and the replacement bus was behind schedule, so it didn't stop at that unofficial bus stop. But driving by, the bus driver did see Daniel, saw him with a man, radioed for the next bus to come and pick him up. The next bus was only a handful of minutes later, but when it arrived, there was no one under the bridge. This was declared a major incident by the 9th of December. The searches for Daniel began. The word was spread and any reported sightings followed up on. Door knocks, water searches, any forensics left behind, examined. A week later, a mannequin was placed where he was last seen and all drivers had the screws put to them. All local sex offenders questioned. Within 3 days, over 100 police were involved in the search, and as time would go by, over 10,000 people would be interviewed. That's a lot of people. No diggity, no doubt. That's because a lot of time went by. Years.
It's now 5.5 years since Daniel Morecambe was taken from the Keel Mountain Road overpass on the Sunshine Coast.
1 year after Daniel's disappearance, a memorial was held. 1,000 people attended. In 2005, the Daniel Morecambe Foundation was launched. In 2008, $1 million offered for new information relating to the disappearance. But the police were no closer to finding him. But suspects, they had.
Man, that is fucking awful. I know it happens. I'm just a firm believer no parent should bury their child. Man. Videos like this get me, bro. I just need a second. Hold on. Just hold up. Hey.
One was a guy named Brett Cowan. He said he had even been driving that road that day. Had been to get some devil's lettuce, but they didn't. The police, they didn't have anything on him.
Brett, can you just state your full name, thanks?
Brett Peter Cowan.
What's your date of birth, Brett?
18.
Dude's got a rat face. Looks like a fucking weasel. Looks like one of them hamsters you shove up someone's ass.
169.
Brett, as explained to you, we're currently investigating the disappearance of a young boy called Daniel Morecambe. He was abducted from the side of the Namble Connection Road on the 7th of the 12th, 2003. You clear on what I want to talk to you about? If you had abducted Daniel, would you tell me?
Probably not.
All right. No worries. We'll terminate the interview at 4:09.
Another was a Douglas Jackway.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, that is, if you took him, would you tell me? Probably not. All right. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. I mean, okay.
A pedo who'd only been out a month before Daniel vanished. A vehicle similar to his was seen in the area. But there was nothing to pin down anything on either. And even Bruce and Denise would conduct their own investigations to try and find their son, but nothing. It was then in 2011 that Bruce and Denise, they called for an inquest into their son's disappearance. You know, have a big hearing, have witnesses give evidence, basically laid out on the table. You know, to see where, if anything had gone wrong, where it had gone wrong.
13-year-old Daniel Morecambe was last seen waiting at a bus stop on the Sunshine Coast. 7 years after he disappeared, his father has told an inquest police initially didn't appear to take the matter seriously. The family searched the area themselves but found nothing. Now they're hoping they'll finally get some answers.
For 7 years, Bruce Morcombe and his family have carried the uncertainty of Daniel's disappearance. Morecambe's grief is still raw. In the days ahead, they'll hear theories as to how he was abducted and most likely murdered. More than 35 people of interest will give evidence, including known sex offenders. The inquest took a sudden turn when Bruce Morcombe testified he was unhappy with police. When he reported his son missing, 24 hours passed before police acted.
Righto, and one of the witnesses called was P7, and that was Brett Cowan.
Man, I would not want to be that family. Oh my God. Sit there, your baby just gone. And it just feels like everyone's just sitting on their ass. Like, I get they're probably doing what they can do, but it ain't gonna matter, not to a parent. No matter how well you do your job, unless we get some sort of closure or something's figured out, no parent in the world's gonna be like, eh. I mean, I understand, you know, cops, they can't just, every other crime in the world happened because, you know, the parents are really upset that their kid's gone. I get that. I understand. I mean, but this one's a hard one to get through, people. Damn.
Convicted pedophile who twice drove past the site on the day Daniel Morecambe was abducted says he had nothing to do with the teenager's disappearance.
Why the fuck did he drive past us twice? Did he have a reason to drive past it twice other than taking that little boy?
The man, known as P7, is the last person of interest to give evidence at the coronial inquest.
P7 has a history of sexual offences against boys dating back to his teens. He was also jailed.
Stop calling this little fucking pedo P7. Let everyone know his damn name. That way he can get the shit slapped out of him, cut off his dick and strangle him with his own balls. I cannot stand a pedophile. I am sorry if I offend anyone. It's not my intent. I can't.
For molesting 2 young boys in separate daylight attacks in Queensland and the Northern Territory.
He gives everybody in the courtroom the shivers.
I'm really scared, actually.
He was flying in all the way from Perth, where he lived at the time. Now, Brett couldn't give two shits about keeping any sort of cohesion to the stories he had told, you know. Witnesses who were supposed to alibi him. Maybe they didn't have a fucking clue what he was talking about. Maybe he said he was going to buy weed, and his drug dealers were out of town at the time. Plot holes would be the word. He said some disgusting shite, and he had a disgusting history, but he denied having seen Daniel, having talked to him that day. On the 1st of April, Brett finished up giving evidence at the inquest and boarded a Qantas flight back home to Perth. On that plane, Brett sat down, had a little drinky drink, and he was sitting next to a guy named Joe Emery. They had never met each other before, just happened to be sitting beside each other, and they shot the shit over a few brews, you know what I mean? This Joe Emery, he was moving to Perth. He had never been there before and he needed to buy a car. And in fact, the very next day, Brett helped Joe buy a car. Brett showed Joe around town. A Brett who was just gosh darn down on his luck, you guys. He just lost his job. He was skinned. So, new best mate Joe says, well, here, listen. Got something to tell you. If you don't mind getting your hands dirty, I might have a bit of work for you. And so Joe introduced Brett to another friend, a guy named Paul Fitzsimons, Fitzy. So they started doing some work together, like think, Sopranos style work together. Transported illegal goods, did some debt collection, blackmail, stole illegal cigarettes, sold illegal guns. Brett was now part of a little gang, and the money was good, and Brett was happy. Turned out joining the Aussie Sopranos or something, he just wanted to be Chopper this whole time.
I'll give you 20 seconds to produce some cash, or I'll fucking shoot you.
He was living large in Perth. Now, who is this Brett, dickhead?
Right.
Brett Cowan was born with a chronic case of Manson-Lamps in the year 1969, growing up in Western Australia. He is a third and was the third of 4 boys, growing up in a strict house. He had an army dad, and the family eventually moved to Brisbane. It seems growing up he played both the bully and the bullied in school, an education he didn't cross the finish line in. He was a problem, and
Oh, I fucking hate bullies so much. Man, life is hard enough. You know what I mean? Why you gotta have some little pudwhacker out there making shit worse for you? It just makes you want to bitch slap him. I wasn't a very popular kid with bullies whenever I was in school. I can't. I don't like to see someone be picked on just because of whatever reason, man. Who gives a shit if they're wearing Walmart clothes, man? Who gives a shit what the fuck they got on their back? They showing up for this dredge just as much as you are. Shut the fuck up and leave them the fuck alone. You know what I mean?
he never grew out of it. He would steal from his mother, and it escalated from there. Stealing, drugs, petty crime. He molested children in the local swimming pool as a teen, with him getting written up with his first conviction at 17 years old. But he didn't let that hold him back, and from there, conviction after conviction followed. This would eventually lead to his first sick shit incident in 1987. That year, he was doing community service at a park in the city of Brisbane. Shoveling shit, I don't know. Brett, he was 18 at the time, and it seems he got talking to some of the kids who were playing nearby. One thing led to another, and Brett took a 7-year-old boy into the public toilets in the park, and Brett, he was arrested shortly afterwards and would serve a whole 1 year, if you can believe that.
No. I cannot believe that. What? Motherfucker pediddles a little kid and gets a year? I don't understand fucking laws in this world, bro. What the fuck? You bediddled a child. Yeah, sure. We believe you'll be okay after a year. Get back out there. Try again, slugger. One year. Wow.
1993, while living in a trailer park in Darwin, he did the same to a 6-year-old boy, leaving him in the trunk of an abandoned, burnt-out car. Brett, he went to prison once again. This time he served 4.5 years of his 7-year sentence. Whoop-de-doo.
For the second time? Bro, I'm sorry. This motherfucker came in there first time, I'd cut off his dick. Second time, I'd cut off his fucking head. No, I wouldn't. I would have cut off his penis and his balls. I would have put him in a prison full of the biggest penises in the world. And be like, have fun. And walked away. And then after about 50 years of that, I would just slowly beat him to death. I hate this shit. Oh my god.
After he moved to the Sunshine Coast, moved in with family, and found Jesus, so it's kind of all gravy then. That old get out of jail free card. He also found a pretty funny fashion sense. But a tiger can't change its stripes. You know, Brett, he was still a pedo, right? And there's only one cure for that. Shotgun to the dick.
Yes!
In 1999, Brett married a woman named Tracy, and together they had a son before divorcing in 2004. So, he was in the Sunshine Coast area in December 2003. But hey, now, 8 years later, he was part of a gang in Perth, having a great old time. The cash was flowing, doing all sorts of no good, but fucking mad about it. But, fucking hell, didn't they hit a snag? One member of the gang was a corrupt cop, and he heard wind that there was a new subpoena on the way for Brett. Brett would have to give more evidence about what happened to the missing kid. The gang, and the gang's leader, Arnold, Mr. Moneybags Cha-ching over here, they needed to know what Brett knew. The last thing the gang needed was the cops looking at them, investigating the gang because of Brett.
Right.
And Brett had done good work, so whatever it was he had done, they'd help him clean up. And a big job was on the way for Brett, a job that would net him about 100 grand. So we better not F this up.
Right.
No loose ends. So tell us what you know, and we can, make sure it never comes up again. And so Brett opened his gob.
How you going, bud? What's been happening? Listen, I'm hearing through Jeff, through Paul, that you're doing some good stuff. I suppose I just have to, make sure that you're happy doing what you're doing, that there's no issues there, because as you know, there's things are moving. You got no problems? You're happy? No one's forcing you to do anything you don't want to do?
No, I'm quite enjoying it actually.
Okay, that's good. As this thing's progressing, this big job that we're looking at, a couple of things that have come up that we need to talk about.
Yep.
All I'm looking for is loyalty, respect and honesty.
Yep.
And I'll pay you back as you pay me back.
Yep. I was living in the area in 2003 when Daniel Morecambe went missing, and so I've been interviewed and I was hounded for ages about that. I can guarantee I had nothing to do with Daniel Morecambe's disappearance. Because ultimately, if the heat's on you, then the heat's on Paul, the heat's on Jeff, and the heat's on me. And I can't afford for that to happen, all right? I'm told you've done the Daniel Morecambe murder. Yep. I'm told that it's dead set that you're the one who's done it. Yep. And like I said, that doesn't bother me at all. I can sort this for you. So you saying to me, look, I had nothing to do with it, that's not what I'm being told. Yep. I'm told, there is a subpoena coming for you. So what do I need to fix? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do. Lead me through the whole fucking thing, how it happened, from where to go, and then I'll think about things that we need to sort and fix.
That's some slick shit,
You're probably
bro.
wondering why this is being filmed.
Because there's some slick ass shit. This motherfucker in there, he ain't a cop. He's a motherfucking actor. I love it.
Well, it's all thanks to Mr. Big. Mr. Big is something we've actually seen before in a Canadian story, which I did not too long ago. It's a sting operation. You see in a lot of movies and TV shows, an undercover cop will join the mafia or a biker gang. They'll join a gang in hopes of getting a confession or evidence, whatever. Well, a Mr. Big operation is essentially that flipped. What if you got the perp, the person you're looking to get shit on, what if you got him to join your gang? Only your gang was completely made up of undercover police. Because that's what Brett did. And had been a member of a undercover cop gang for about 5 months.
That's
he eventually
fucking
led the undercover cops to Daniel's remains, under the pretense that, maybe Brett left some evidence behind. There were police officers waiting in the bushes, and he was arrested.
Police! Stay there, Brett.
Stay there, mate.
Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Police.
Stay where you are.
Brett Cowan, Steve Blanchard, Detective Senior Sergeant from the Homicide Unit in Brisbane, and you know Ross Hutton. Is that correct?
From Sunshine Coast CLB.
No, I don't know him. You don't know him? No. Okay. Brett, we're here we're investigating the abduction and murder of Daniel Morecambe.
Yep.
Okay? You're aware that you've been spoken to before in relation to that? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. What I have to tell you is that you don't have to speak to us today. Okay?
Yep.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yep.
You don't have to answer any question or make any statement.
Yep.
Do you understand that?
Yep. I'm under arrest, am I?
Not at this time. If you're happy to remain with us and speak with us in relation to this matter.
No, you just can arrest me.
All right, you're under arrest for the murder of Daniel Morecambe.
Yep, cool. I'm under arrest for Daniel Morecambe's murder.
Brett had been driving on that road, Nambour Connection Road, where Daniel was waiting. He, in fact, drove past the broken down bus that Daniel was supposed to have gotten. And then he drove, saw Daniel, and, well, thought to himself. He pulled off at the next exit, doubled back to a car park nearby, left the car, and walked to the bus stop. Whatever way he managed to get Daniel into his car, under the pretense that he was going to drive Daniel to give him a lift to the shopping centre. Only instead he drove him to an abandoned building way out in the bush. Brett would say that he simply panicked and strangled Daniel.
Never got to molest him or anything like that. He panicked and I panicked and grabbed him around the throat and before I knew he was dead.
That's not what the evidence showed, and not what he said to the undercover cop, Fitzy, before. He said he took Daniel to an abandoned building, had some, quote, man fun, unquote, and then, well, no witnesses. So he killed Daniel Morecambe.
We wish to advise that a short time ago, a 41-year-old man was charged with a number of offences relating to the disappearance of Daniel Morecambe at Woombye on the 7th of December 2003. The charges preferred are murder, deprivation of liberty, child stealing, indecent treatment of a child under 16, and interfering with a corpse.
Police investigating the murder of Daniel Morecambe say their search of bushland on the Sunshine Coast could continue for weeks.
Searching for the remains of Daniel Morecambe has resumed at Beerwar. Bad weather has kept police and SES away since Monday.
More bones have been found at the site where authorities have been searching for Daniel Morecambe's remains on the Sunshine Coast.
The latest discovery is just part of an ongoing wait for the Morecambes to bury their son with dignity.
At the end of the day, if bones are found, they still have to be forensically tested. It's not as though that it's something that we can hold and prepare a funeral for. That is still many months away.
The bones and shoes will be forensically tested, and it could take several weeks to determine whether they belong to the missing teenager.
Police today confirmed what everyone had feared. Bones found at a search site on the Sunshine Coast belong to missing teenager Daniel Morecambe, who
Thankfully, Daniel had finally been found and returned to his family. Brett Cowan went on trial in February 2014. He pleaded not guilty. He was found guilty on all charges 1 month later.
Hell yeah.
He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum non-parole period of 20 years.
Fuck yeah. I hope he's getting it. Just.
And so ends the story
Run his ass.
The disappearance of Daniel Morecambe. Pretty tragic, pretty disturbing, pretty horrific, whatever
fucked up
adjective you want to throw in there. It's all of them. But
so
Brett
fucked
Cowan
up.
was an unbelievable monster.
Trash.
It's pretty satisfying, though, that he thought he was, hot shit as a gang member, and it turned out he was just shit. Gotta applaud the undercover cops there. Listen.
Well, I hope by the time he gets out of his little prison sentence, he's shitting in a bag, bro, because he can't hold his booty hole closed. Fucking trash ass motherfucker.
Been sickening, but ladies and gentlemen, they got him. His parents went through what can only be described as hell for almost 10 years, but Daniel's memory lives on in the Daniel Morecambe Foundation. And one more thing is that Brady over here, he had a pretty tough time in prison, if you can believe that. In 2017, he had boiling water poured over him by another inmate. I'm not advocating violence, over here, but I mean, I think we can let that one slide.
Let's golf clap. I would have fucking threw some baby oil in the microwave and threw it at his ass. Fuck that shit. Motherfucker wouldn't have no skin left. Piece of shit.
Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike. As always, I really enjoy coming here, having a little visit with you. Cheep, 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 cheep. Such a cutie. Look at him. All right, I really enjoyed today's episode. It was hard to get through. Ooh, really hard to get through. But I enjoy them because they're stories that need to be told, and a lot of people just don't want to sit down and listen to it. And me, I don't like sitting here and hearing this stuff, but in my head, I'm watching it with you guys, so it makes it a lot better. It's always easier to take shit like this whenever you have someone down in the corner acting stupid. Oh my lord. That was a lot to handle though. I really enjoyed today's story. And it's one of those stories that need to be told, need to be out there. People need to know and shit. All right, if y'all enjoyed today's story as much as I did, please go down there and hit that thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. While you're down there going over, slap the subscribe button. Become part of the Bill 5000 Nation. We do some crazy shit here, bro. If you want to know when that crazy shit happens, ding that bell. It might work for you. It might not. If it do, though, jump in on one of my premieres, get over in the live chat and be like, what up, fool? It worked. I got dinged. I got dinged so good. Like, I am still dinging. Leave a like and dip. That's all I ask. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh, Lordy. See, I know what would have just made all this null and void. He should have just stayed home, got on the computer, and ordered him some Bill 5000 merch. I had some stuff up for the holidays. I just needed to know. He could have been safe at home.